Hello everyone and welcome back to the X-Ring. I hope you're doing well on this Easter morning. Always remember the reason for the season. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Ruger RPR, but with an integrally suppressed barrel. So stick around. All right, so back in the day when I was on a team, we actually had an integrally suppressed 22. It was a 1022 and it had an AWC suppressor on it. It was very useful for doing things like taking out street lights or maybe some small animals or things like that that might give away positions, and I think it's really good to have in that repertoire. Now, there's a name in the industry that's been coming on really strong with suppressor manufacturer, and that is AB Suppressors. You guys might know that they are the OEM suppressor for the CZ Scorpion for the SDs, and I was able to talk to the owners there, Brad Riley. Big shout out to the guys over at AB, and then also Brad Riley for sending this in for evaluation. So yes, this was sent to me. I've actually been running this quite hard for the last couple weeks, and it's a pretty unique little system. So if you have a Ruger RPR, what it does is it replaces the factory barrel that comes with the Ruger RPR. It's an 18-inch configuration. It is still a premium match barrel. So while the RPR is a great platform, this is the factory barrel that came with it. So if you look at it and line it up, this is how much length you're gonna be able to take away from that system having it integrally suppressed. It doesn't even look like it's suppressed. So what you do is you just basically take the handguard off, you take the lower plastic piece off, you take the retaining nut, the barrel retaining nut off, and then you just put in the new barrel, and then you tighten it down, put your handguard back on, and you replace this factory barrel, which this actually shot okay, but it does not shoot as well as this one. Now, even though this is an OEM barrel, you basically still have 12 inches of full match barrel here, and then the last remaining 6 inches is actually going to be baffles. Now, these baffles have a unique look. They actually work like a tap system, so they're self-cleaning, and it actually comes with a pretty cool tool so that you can still service this. That tool will also remove the end cap on the end, and so it is extremely quiet. Guys, it is a lot more effective than any screw-on suppressor onto an 18-inch barrel that I've been able to find. It is extremely quiet. It almost sounds like a little pellet gun, a weak pellet gun, by the way. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it out on the range. We're gonna see how it will do for groups. I just cleaned it, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, I know it's a little dark, but that's okay. You should be able to see downrange. We have a bench rest target at 50 yards. We'll do a couple of 5-shot groups and see if it'll hold that inside circle, or somewhere around, you know, a half an inch or so would be acceptable. It might even do better than that, because what I've noticed is this rifle does really well with this suppressor. So let's go ahead and get it dialed in at 50, and here we go. Got a little bit of left to right. All right, so not a bad grouping. I probably need to come up a 1/10, which is fine to have this thing completely dialed in. And let's go with the next one. And we might be out. All right, so perfectly acceptable groups. Now, like I said, close enough to probably shoot a precision rimfire match. But like I said, I'm just trying to do these pretty quickly. I think the elevation's pretty good on that. Let's go ahead and let's do one more group. All right, so this unit does have a factory trigger on it. There's been no modifications. It's a factory RPR. And here we go, target number 2. Far right. All right, so just one little flyer, but good grouping overall. Let's see how it does at 100. All right, so I have no idea how this is going to do at 100 yards. We'll try our best. I know that with the 12-inch barrel, it is going to be a little slower than what we're used to. You know, typically we're going to be around 1.8 mils using something like Center X or some other type of match ammunition. But I have seen some CZs where I have to dial like 2 mils. So I think for this case, we're probably going to need to dial, you know what, let me just start off at 2.1 mils. And I probably want a 10th left just because I've got a little bit of wind up there. So I'll just go a 10th left. And let's see if this puts us pretty darn close. All right, so what we're going to do is, just so I can see it better because it's not in the shade, I am going to go for the illuminated target, which is the middle target. So here we go. I'd say that's a pretty good call. So she's a little low and right. I'm going to do the same hold. Yeah, it definitely needs to come up a 10th. Wow. Okay, that's a pretty darn group with the exception of that flyer. Let's go 5 more to the target to the right of that. Wind is picking up. That one dropped. And 5. Okay, so guys, the accuracy here out of this is actually just as good as some of the other rifles that I've seen, you know, for that standard of holding about that 1-inch group. We'll get a measurement up there, but geez, that one was great. And this is at 100 yards. So I've got this rifle topped off with a Night Force, the 4-16 ATACR. It does have an H59 reticle in it. It does have the Masterpiece arms with the 1.125, the 0 MOA base. So it already has the 30 built into it. So could you shoot a PRS rifle match with this, a rimfire match? You could, but I think that velocity is probably going to hurt you, especially the farther distances. But the accuracy is actually there. I love the integral barrel setup. Yeah, you do have to pay the $200 tax stamp, but it's only one tax stamp. Even though it's only a 12-inch barrel, the overall length of that barrel still comes out to the 18 inches or over the 16-inch mark. All right, so what are my thoughts on the MELB-P suppressor by AB Suppressors? And by the way, it stands for Mission Enhanced Little Bird because it is a Little Bird suppressor, but they do make it as a standalone thread-on. But remember, this is the integrally suppressed barrel. The price point on this is going to run right at $500. And on top of that, you've got your $200 tax stamp, which comes up to $700, which is probably going to be more than what you actually have in the RPR. However, the sound mitigation on this is just unparalleled. Didn't have time to break out the sound meter. I know you guys would probably want to see that. And I am going to recommend that if you're going to shoot an integrally suppressed barrel, use subsonic ammunition. Use something that is going to be in that slower range. There's no reason to shoot stingers or anything like that through here. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if it can handle it. I probably wouldn't recommend that. As far as the weight savings, you're going to save about ½ a pound. I believe the MELB-P comes in at right at 33 ounces or so, and the overall barrel length actually comes in at 18.2 inches. They also have the MELB suppressor line for 1022. So I definitely want to try one of those out. I'll let you guys know the performance on it, but the performance here exceeded my expectations. I will tell you that. I was assuming that it was going to open up the groups quite a bit. And you guys remember that I reviewed that JP upper in the 22, which I love the platform, but it did not group as well as this. Another thing I want to do is I am using Sennheiser mics, but the thing is they do kind of cut the clipping out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the Sennheiser mic and use the onboard camera mic, because what I've noticed is that gives you a better representation of what it actually sounds like, and it's probably going to be a little bit louder, but it's going to be a better representation of what it really sounds like to the ear. So what I'll do is I'll shoot a couple. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to disconnect this. So the microphone is disconnected. We're using the onboard microphone from the camera. And let me just go ahead and shoot a couple downrange into the dirt. I'm not trying to hit any targets or anything. So that's what it sounds like. If I wanted to shoot the steels just for representation, let me just go ahead and dial somewhere around 1.3. That should do it. There's the spinner. Here's the IPSC. So that gives you an idea of how quiet this truly is. So it definitely has its application for certain purposes, and it's actually cool because I'm not having to put that suppressor on the end of it, and it's all one compact little package. All in all, I've never really shot this RPR that much, but I do have a new love for it, especially with this new integrally suppressed barrel from AB Suppressors. I do have some other suppressors I'm going to review, like the Raptor and the Warthog, so those will be upcoming. I also have some by KG Made, like the R6 and some of their 22 cans, as well as Energetic Armament. I'm a big silencer junkie, if you will. So, all right, so I hope you enjoyed that review of the AB Suppressors MELB Little Bird. I hope to see you around soon. I'm going to try to get you some more content out there. Trying to stay busy with the videos. Hope you enjoyed some of the Rimfire content. We'll definitely be doing some machine guns. Probably an HKG3 coming up soon. And then also some other really cool things in the 416 line. So you guys take care. Have a good week. And remember, it is Easter, and spend the time with your families. Enjoy your loved ones. Give them a hug and a kiss. Tell them you love them every day. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.